And the average house price is £535,000.
Okay.
The average house price in London. And the average salary is 41,000.
It's mad.
Right. So how are people meant to...
This is what I'm saying.
Black community, we're very behind in terms of like
Yeah.
black other ethnic groups is 16%.
Mm-hmm.
Why is it so low in terms of like our community, do you think, with the percentages are so low in comparison to other like ethnic groups?
Honestly, when I moved back to
doing?
my dad, I saved for 10 months and I saved about £15,000. People now, when you see on social media, they get the house at the age of 10. Like they're mad young. Everyone is a guru, entrepreneur, something. Like they got no facial hair, but they got 10 properties. I was considered quite old for aesthetics. I just wanted a big bum, like a flat tummy. Like that's the truth of it. I just wanted nyash because I didn't have breasts, so I had to have nyash. We tried for 2.5 years, nothing. Decided to get a PT. 3 months later, we're now pregnant.
Yeah.
Like fitness, like what you're doing is so important. And I think it should just be for us, it should be a lifestyle.
Welcome back, guys. It's episode 13 of A Woman's Point of View. Who I've got with us today?
Am I introduce myself now?
Yeah. So
Sorry, all right,
now.
Sorry. All right, so my name is Juliana, or Propertybyjewels.
All right, nice. So if you haven't seen the pod before, we're doing a nice quick fire round.
Yep.
Just so our audience to get to know you, and also myself actually.
Mm-hmm.
So you got 5 seconds to answer each question.
Yeah.
Gym or home workout?
Gym.
Rent or mortgage?
Mortgage.
It's like, oh, AM or PM sessions?
AM.
Your favorite music genre?
Right now, gospel.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Upper or lower body workout?
Lower.
This is gonna be the most important question. Plantain or plantain?
Don't be silly. Plantain.
End the pod.
Bye. Yeah.
Cool. What's your favorite dish?
Oh, I eat everything. I don't have one. Curry goat.
Oh, okay. You redeemed yourself. Okay, so this is a 3-part question, right? So you're stuck on the island for 12 months. You can only bring one of the following. So one piece of gym equipment you can bring with you.
Barbell.
Okay. One movie. You can watch one movie.
Coming to America.
Okay. One song for a whole year you can listen to this one tune.
You know what? Like I said, I'm right now. I'm in my gospel bag, so it would be by an artist called Neon Adejo called Eze Ubube. It means gracious God.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have a listen to it.
That one.
All right. So last question. So you're in a scenario, yeah, you're down to your last £600, right? You can only start a business. Yeah, what business would you go into?
£600.
600. You're like your last £600. What would be your business that you get into?
Oh, that's a good one.
I'll give you a bit longer to answer because this is quite a tricky
That's
question. Yeah,
give me a heads up. Oh my God, I don't know.
All right, let's extend it.
Okay.
You got 1,500 instead of 600.
I'm gonna say rent to rent.
Okay.
I'm gonna say rent to rent to start it. I'll need some money on top, but I'll say rent to rent to start it.
Love that. I've done quite a lot of research on rent to rent, so I've got quite a few questions to pick your brain. So we're definitely gonna come back to that. So you guys stay tuned. Before we even get into all of that, like, let's get more back to know about you, back to know about my guests. So let's start even from like where you from, like childhood, growing up.
All right.
Let's hear it.
You want my whole backstory?
Yeah.
So I grew up in Brixton.
Okay.
I grew up there for 18 years until I moved and went to university. I studied biomedical sciences in university, but did not use science one day in my life. I have 4 siblings. I grew up with all 5 of us in one house. We lived in council houses in the same estate in Brixton. Not the greatest upbringing, if I'm being honest, but an upbringing that I knew I didn't want to have for my future, but an upbringing that gave me the tools that I needed to get to where I am today. I am currently a property investor, property developer. I got there through literally grit, hard work, determination, and I currently have 3 kids right now, and I live in Kent, and I'm an auntie. I miss my sleep. But yeah, that's a bit about me.
That's a good intro because I'm going to ask about how you balance everything with kids as well and stuff like that. So it's good that you mentioned that. So let's talk about school. So primary school, like how was that? Like how was primary school?
Primary school, I actually loved it. A lot of people say they don't like school. I absolutely love school because we grew up very, very poor. If I'm being honest, we didn't have a lot of money. We were on housing benefits, job seekers allowance, all of that stuff that you can think of. That was how I grew up. So for me, school was great because we had hot meals and we always got seconds. So school for me was great. A time I got to actually spend time with friends because growing up, people didn't come to our houses. My parents are first generation Nigerian parents, so we didn't have any cousins or any aunties and uncles that we personally knew, apart from maybe church and stuff like that. But because of the way the family was set up, we didn't have anyone come over to us. So school for me was great. It was a time for socializing, a time to eat hot food, and a time to be at the house. So I liked it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you say, like, kind of like what you're doing now, you say the drive kind of come from that, like...
Yeah. You know what? It's kind of sad that the drive comes from trauma.
Yeah. Because I've heard that a lot in terms of like I say even for myself and like my peers as well. That's where a lot of the drive like you need to make it.
I can't be like I need to be different.
You need to make it.
Yeah.
What about secondary school?
Secondary school, I went to an all-girls school in Tulsa Hill called St. Martin's. Again, I loved it. It was absolutely fine. Again, hot meals. I was on free school meals. No issue. And to be fair, I was a boff in Darnell. Like I was very smart because we didn't really go out much. My head was in the books.
Got you.
So I done like maths GCSE 2 years early, RE GCSE 2 years early, left school with all A stars and A's.
Jeez.
So I was a bookworm. And when you're smart in a Nigerian household, you're good. They leave you alone. You don't get in trouble. You don't get no beats. So I was good. And then moving on to college, I got EMA because again, no money. So I loved it. That is kind of where my drive for money and saving started because we got, I don't know how old you are, but in my day, we had something called EMA, which is where you get £30 a month to help you because you're from a low income family. So when you get that money, that helped me obviously with my lunch money, for books, but I saved a lot of it. And that's where I realized money is a good thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I was going to say like in terms of saving, where did you get that from? Because when I was growing up, so I grew up in East London.
Yeah.
And I feel like from a boy's point of view, when he was that age, you just want to floss, impress the girls, do this, that. So
I was scared to lose it, so I held on to it.
Okay, got
yeah.
You. So that kind of saving come from like an early
thing of I'm keeping as much as I can.
That's good. That's good. So that was like, okay, that's school. Was you doing like any sports or anything like in school?
You know what? It's funny. Not even to sound like I'm big-headed, but I was quite good at sports as well. Okay. Like, give me 200 meters, I'm blazing everyone. I was all right.
Okay.
High jump, I was good. Long jump, I was good. Most sports, I was decent. Academic-wise and sports-wise, I was good. Because we didn't do sports outside of the house. Sports in school, I loved it. Again, I'm a proper teacher's pet. Anything that you give me, I have to be the best at it.
Love that.
Just so I can get the hand clap from the teachers. So... yeah, I was good at sports.
That's a great trait. When I have children, I want my children to be like that.
No, it's not all that. No. You're too much people pleasing. It's not good for you, man.
No, do you know what? I would say the aspect I mean out of that is like you want to perform your best. I would say out of that.
Yeah.
Because I feel like you kind of take that into like later lives. Because what I used to do in school, right, in secondary school, I had to make everyone laugh. I was a kid I was that kid.
Sound like my son.
No, honestly, like in
class
secondary
clown.
school, I was the class clown, the footballer. So like, used to, get with the girls, class clown, football, yeah. As I used to do it. So that was in school, right? So I feel like I didn't focus on learning because studies, it's I had to be cool.
Yeah.
I can't be.
I went to an all-girls school, so there were no guys to impress. So I think that's the difference. With girls, for me anyway, in my experience, when going to an all-girls school, books was the only thing I could focus on. Got you. If I was in the mid school, that would be a different story. When I went to college, my focus changed. I was like, boys, my grades went down because that attention is there. You want
exactly.
So I get it.
So that's exactly what I kind of feel like I got in the mixed school.
Yeah.
So let's talk about college then. So college, what did you study in college?
So I studied, again, because I was quite smart, I done my maths A-level early. So I left with a maths A-level, a biology A-level, a chemistry A-level, and an economics A-level, and then a chemistry AS. Yeah, chemistry AS. So, sorry. Maths A-level, biology A-level, economics A-level and a chemistry AS level.
Jeez. Yeah. So where was your mind at the time? Like, what did you want to do?
As I said, I'm Nigerian, so I was told to be a doctor, lawyer, or engineer. So I done all that because I thought I was supposed to be a doctor. I didn't want to be, but I just assumed I'd be a doctor. And to be a doctor, you have to do biology, maths, and chemistry. So that's what I studied. I applied to do medicine. I didn't get in, so I ended up doing biomedical sciences. So my head was at do what I need to do to make my parents happy. But I didn't enjoy it, which is why I never used science a day in my life after I got the degree. So I've done the degree, got a 2-1, but I've never used it.
What uni did you go?
King's College.
Okay, you went to King's College.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So you're at King's College, you go on college, King's College. In that time, are you in the gym? Are you like still playing sports? Are you
not
doing
at all?
Okay, so you're proper focused on like straight.
No, I was socializing. I was obviously trying to get my grades on point, but at the same time socializing. Because this is my first time living out of the house. When I went to uni, I moved out of my family home. The whole world was open up to me. So I was just excited. I was going out, seeing new parts of London that I had never seen before. Went on my first ever holiday from being in uni. So most people, they go on holiday with their parents and all that stuff. Never. My first time on a plane was when I was 19. We went to Magaluf after my first year of uni. And I was like, this is life. Cool. So yeah.
Okay, cool. So you've done that at uni.
Yeah.
Are you working?
I had to work part-time, again, money-wise.
For
me to be able to fund being out of home, I had a student loan, maintenance loan, and a loan to pay your course. And I had to work alongside that. So since the age of 17, I've been working part-time.
Okay. Before we go into what you're doing now, if you could go back with all the information that you know now, would you have gone to uni?
I probably would have, but would definitely not have done my course.
What would you have done if you could go now?
Some business type of thing, or something to get into finance, like investment. Okay. That's what I would have done.
Okay, nice.
Yeah.
Okay, so you've gone uni now, done that. What's your next step now? What have you done after uni?
So after uni, I was still actually working part-time. So I worked in Dorothy Perkins in Oxford Street retail. Okay. I done that for the whole of uni. Then when I left uni, I went to go work in Barclays Bank. So again, nothing science related. So I was the cashier. I'm quite studious when it comes to my work, and again, the people pleasing element of me shows its rears its ugly head. I'm someone who I do my work and I do it well all the time. So promotion was something that I always seem to always get. So worked in Barclays, got promoted, eventually left there, went to go work in marketing. I've done procurement. I've done the creative industries. I've hopped around for where they'll give me more money.
Got you.
Yeah, I wasn't stuck on one career path because I just wanted to make more money wherever I was.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you done that. Then when did the property aspect come in? What opened your eyes to property?
You know what? Property, again, from the trauma, has always been in the back of my head. Okay. My parents never owned any property, so I knew I wanted to own. I didn't know how it was going to happen, but I knew I wanted to own. It's always been there. Yeah. So when I went to uni and I was visiting, again, friends' house because people didn't come to our house, I was surprised to see that African parents and Caribbean parents owned their house. Yeah. Like, it wasn't a council house. I didn't realize people could have a property that wasn't given to them. So when I went to their house, and I was like, this is actually yours. Like, you pay a mortgage for it. Like, no one can take it away from you. It honestly astounded me. Yeah. So that's kind of where I realized that it is a future thing that I could aspire to. So then when I finished uni, I wanted to get a property, but there's no way I can get a property paying rent, because remember, I wasn't at home, paying rent. And the deposit was not going to happen if I'm paying someone else's rent, paying my expenses, paying travel. So my boyfriend at the time, who's now my husband, was just like, why don't you go and live with your dad? So to get money, you either have to cut your expenses or increase your income. So I decided to do the former, which was cut my expenses. So stopped renting, went to go live back with my dad, and there I literally did nothing. I stacked and saved all of the money I was making at work for 10 months, got enough money for a deposit, and then went to go buy a place in East London in Dagenham. Okay. Yeah, so that's, for me to get my first property, I had to go back to live with my dad. Bear in mind, him and my mum, they're not together. He's got a new wife, new kids, so I'm going to a new house that wasn't my own. Yeah. But it was sacrifice I had to make to be able to get my foot on the ladder.
Got you.
Yeah.
So I was actually going to mention this a bit later, but you kind of touched on it. And from the stats that I've seen, right, it looks as if like for us, the black community, we're very behind in terms of like comparison to other ethnic groups. So I've got from an article here, right, that 14% of households it says mixed white and black African ethnic households, only 14% are house owners, followed by black other ethnic groups is 16%. Why is it so low in terms of like our community, do you think, with the percentages are so low in comparison to other like ethnic groups?
Honestly, I do think it's because we don't see a lot of people like us doing it, which is why I'll probably get onto it. But the whole point of my platform is to let people know that they can do it. If I can do it, they can do it. Yeah. Representation matters more than you think. If I can see someone who's got a house who looks just like me or looks like my parents, I know it's actually something that I can achieve. And I also think it's just sometimes the mindset. We keep things so close to our chest. We don't share a lot of information, and I don't know why. I'm not someone who gatekeeps. If you know how to get enough money to get a deposit, you know how to do side hustles, you know how to increase your income, bring me in on it. Let us do it together. In the Asian community, you see them sticking together. They all live together. They all share their money. They all buy a house together until each one of them have their own house. We don't do that. And this is why you see maybe us not thriving as much as they do, because we want to do it by ourselves. We don't want to share the knowledge. We don't want to help other people. We just want to do it so we can say, I've done it myself. But no, let us help each other. Like, anyway, yeah.
No, do you know what? I said that because I was going to add in my opinion, what I think is that. That's exactly right. That, and I feel like us growing up, obviously we never saw anyone doing it, but we wasn't taught anything. So like, in terms
finances,
of, I didn't even know the difference between like rent and mortgage from like later on, because everyone around me, my environment, no one's talking about these things. It's only when I used to work in a minimal in Leicester Square when I was like 17, 18. I was like, wow, like I'm outside the ends. It's a bit different. I'm interacting with people that are outside my area because no one in my area is talking about this. So I don't know. I'm not being told it's like growing up and things like that. So I feel like that's another thing as well. Why you're saying like the Asian community, Asian friends, they've got off licenses, they've got this, they've got that, but they're like kind of taught a lot more from like growing up. Like, so they've kind of got like a head start.
Because when they're little, they're stacking shelves in their parents' shop.
Exactly.
They're like, I can own something like this.
Exactly.
With us, it wasn't like that.
Exactly.
Like I said, my parents didn't own. They still don't own. And if that's what you're seeing, that's what you're going to absorb and think that that's the norm. 100%. And there's so much more out there.
And now my second point as well would be like, again, when I say like growing up, a lot of like my peers, our community, we're trying to flex on each other. So you might be down to your last whatever,
trying
but
to look
you got to get that designer or something. You ain't even got it like
this
that.
Is
but
it.
If I put
You're
in
doing
a gram,
Klarna.
I might post a little my wet bottle or something, but you don't know what they've actually got. Where like the plain Jane, you might just have like something plain on, it costs too much, but they're the ones that actually have the most money because they're keeping the most 100%, money.
100%. That's the thing. You don't have to look rich to be rich.
Literally. So I feel like that's definitely, you said kind of what I was going to say on the back end of that. So like, how do you kind of help people right now? So let's say, for example, someone come to you on board with you, we had a client, what exactly do you offer?
I don't gatekeep. I let them know what they need to do and what's the things they need to cut out. So if, for example, we look through your spending and you got so many subscriptions, you got things that can be cut out. Like I said before, small sacrifice for long-term gain. There's things you can cut out now that would honestly help you with your deposit if you realize that I don't need this right now. Like you mentioned, the designer clothes, things that eating out, the Uber Eats. Like, go and cook your own food. I'm not saying don't have days where you get takeout. I'm not saying that, but sometimes if you stack and save for a certain amount of time, you can actually see how much your money can grow.
Okay.
So I think just not gratifying yourself for now is really important.
Good. So is it like, the way people work with you, is it like one-on-one thing? Is it a community thing? Like,
so at the moment, I don't have a community. At the moment, it's one-on-one. I've got mentees who I mentor who dependent. So I don't have a blanket one for all. You come and tell me what you're looking for. I help you with your objective. I've got mentees that want to get BRR projects. I help them with that. I've got clients that want to get properties in different areas. I help them source as well. So I do deal sourcing as well. Okay. So depending on where you are in your journey, I will help you. If you're a first-time buyer, I'll tell you what you need to do. If you're an investor wanting to scale up or do more advanced strategies, I help you with that. But give me everything that you want to do, and I'll tell you where you're even falling short, how I can help and assist you. I'll give you my brokers. I'll give you my solicitors. I'll help you get there, not just lip service, but actual practical ways to get there.
I love that because I've got a mentor myself, but like a lot of mentors, they will tell you need to do this, but give me the people that like I need to go to give me this.
Help me. Don't just tell me, oh yeah,
so I love that
you
said that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just before I come back to that, where can people find you then to reach out to you?
So Instagram, my website, TikTok. So this all Propertybyjewels. Jewels is spelled Jewels. Yeah.
Cool. Perfect. I'm leaving anything in the description box below anyway.
Yeah.
So obviously I know what rent to rent is. So let's try and talk about why did you mention rent to rent when you said 1,500? I kind of know why, but why would you say rent to rent is a good thing to get into if you've got that amount of money?
So if you want to get into property, it's the lowest barrier of entry that you can get into property to actually get your foot wet and understand what property is about. I'm all about ownership. But I understand to get cash flow, you have to be able to do certain things like rent to rent, get a property from a landlord and rent it out so that you are making money to be able to increase your cash flow to get to the point that you can have a deposit. That's why I said that, because the startup costs that you need are to pay the landlord their deposits, make sure you can furnish your property in a decent space, and do all your compliance stuff as well. So that's why I said probably rent to rent, because you can't buy a house for 1,500. But if you want to at least understand how to work with tenants, how to work with landlords, what certifications you need, this is a good way to get your foot to the door.
So how would you define in your own words what rent to rent is? Because people are thinking rent to rent, is that even legal? It's legal.
So it is legal. It is legal. A very small part of my portfolio is rent to rent. Majority of it is all ownership. So rent to rent is basically you leasing a property from a landlord. That's what it is.
Yeah, because I've got, do you know Easy Property?
Yeah.
So we went to college together,
cool.
and he's kind of doing similar to what you're doing as well. And I think it's amazing, and it's good seeing all like the back end stuff and exactly like what it actually is, like the highs and lows, like how to approach like landlords, how to speak to them on the phone, things like that. I feel like it's very good and like educational. So let's talk about your portfolio. What do you have on your portfolio? Like if you could say you touch on anything.
I've got a bit of everything. So I've got a few HMOs, I've got service accommodation, I've got vanilla buy-to-lets, I've got conversions. A bit of everything.
What all these
really.
Things? Maybe don't know.
Sorry.
Because I know, but what all these things? Let's break it down.
Is a property that you have at least 4 tenants in the property. They're not related. They all have their own individual ASTs. So assured tenancy, assured short hold tenancy agreement. So they basically rent a room in a property, and it has to be 4 or more people for it to be a HMO. So I've got 3 HMOs, and they all have 5 separate tenants in there. There's also service accommodation, which is like Airbnb. And then there is vanilla buy-to-let, your normal buy-to-let. You get a property, put a tenant in there, Bob's your uncle, that's it, they're done. I've also got conversion projects. I've got a project right now where it's a burnt down building. It was a 5-bed initially, and I'm now converting it into 3 flats. So that's going to be 3 separate tenants living there.
Wow.
Yeah, stuff like that.
So let's reverse this. Now we know with this, we need to go all the way back to the journey we spoke about. How did you get there? So let's talk about you getting your first property.
Yeah.
What you had to do. So you said you moved back home.
Moved back home.
So it's good that we know this, because now we can go, cool. Let's go all the way back home. You moved back home. You're still working.
Yeah.
You said you're stacking as much as you can. How much are you stacking at the moment? And what was your first deal?
Sure. Okay, so when I moved back to my dad, I saved for 10 months, and I saved about £15,000. So with the £15,000, I got a 2-bed property in Dagenham. I bought it for £170,000.
Oh.
Yeah.
In Dagenham?
Yeah. And it was nice as well, you know.
Wow.
I know, again, this was 11 years ago.
That's a very good price for it's in Dagenham, okay.
Yeah, this was 11 years ago. So just a caveat, I've been in property for a very long time. So prices now are very different to what the prices were when I got into property. But you can still get really great deals. So I got property for a 2-bed property for 170k. I put down a 5% deposit. So 5% deposit plus stamp duty, legal fees, broker fees. All the money I had went into that property. And then that was in 2014. Got married in 2015. Got pregnant straight away with twins. After getting married. And then obviously me being pregnant, we have a 2-bed house. The twins can definitely fit in there, but we wanted to have a family home. So when the twins were born, we're good. We don't have to move. They're stable. They're settled. So when I was pregnant, we decided that we're going to sell the property that we just bought And after 18 months of being in that property, it went up £60,000. So that's when in my head, because I just wanted the property to live in. I wasn't thinking about developer, get a portfolio. I just wanted somewhere to lay in my head that was mine, that no one can take off me. So then after 18 months, the property went up 60K. And I was just like, oh, okay. So properties go out like this, yeah? Let me kind of delve into this a little bit more. So when the property went up, we sold it, used the profit to get our 4-bed in Kent. And with the extra money we got, I bought me and my husband, bought a 2-bed flat in Manchester and then a 1-bed flat in Kent with that extra money.
Nice, you done it at the same time. So you got one in Manchester,
literally
one
in the same month. So the one property, it going up in value, we end up getting 3 properties. Our family home, because when it went up in value, we obviously took that money out, used that to have a deposit for where we lived. That was our residential home, and then used the extra money to get the other 2 properties in Manchester and Kent.
Sick.
So in 2 years, we had 3 properties, and then just using our rental. And I think as well, one thing that you said before about our community, we like to do show. We lived within our means. We lived on 1 paycheck, and my husband's extra money, we then saved that, and that kind of fed into the property business alongside the rent that we were making. So then we just kind of done the safe route, kept buying vanilla buy-to-lets. We got properties in like Sheffield, we got some in Liverpool, we got some in Doncaster, and then we got a mentor. And you know when you get a mentor, they kind of stretch you and push you to do things that are outside of your comfort zone, but in that uncomfortability, you're going to thrive and be able to do so much more. So we got a mentor. It was a Liverpool old gentleman. I think he's like 50 something, and he was doing big boy stuff. So getting like 12 apartments, doing stuff that it was just a pipe dream to me. I didn't know that people do that. Again, if you don't see it, you don't think you can do it. I thought everyone has got buy-to-lets. I didn't know there were sexy things like conversions and commercial properties and stuff like that. So when we started talking to him, we realized that when playing it safe, we need to do a bit more advanced stuff. And that's when the BRRR came into it, which is buy, refurb, rent and refinance. You buy a derelict property, you do it up, force up the value, and then refinance it, get the money back and do it again. And that's where a lot of the money, more of the money has come in our portfolio because we've been doing that strategy.
Okay.
But the only thing is, which is why it's not for everyone, is because when you buy a property that is run down, which is uninhabitable, you got to buy it cash. No lender will give you a mortgage on a property that has no water, has no lights, has half the roof missing. So that's why stuff like that, I always advise my mentees, if you want to go into property, I don't always advise your first deal being something that's so risky, because if something falls through, you're stuck.
Yeah.
So I think have the experience in property and then you can go into stuff like that. So we had a mentor, started doing more BRR, started doing more conversion stuff, started doing more advanced stuff, and that's kind of where we kind of flew. And I realized I can actually help people as well get into this. So that's where the Propertybyjewels was birthed.
So you've got all these properties in different locations.
Yeah.
How big was your team, or how big is your team to be able to manage all of that? Or someone that's listening, how are they able to do that and managing different locations?
I don't want to say a blanket answer for everyone.
Yeah.
I do this full time. I don't have a full time job. This is my baby. So I manage a lot of them myself. Mine is the HMOs because it's just too much work. I give that to a property manager to manage. The other ones, I manage them.
Okay.
And I deal with it. So me and my husband deal with it.
Nice.
And I've got one VA.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good. And I wanted to. I've got another stat here, which
You've been researching.
Yeah. I've got stats here to kind of like ask you questions on the back end of it.
Go on.
So the Standard kind of released an article in February this year, and they said the average house price. You can let me know if these stats are off from your expertise as well.
Go on.
The average house price is £535,000. That's the average house price in London, and the average salary is 41,000.
It's mad,
right? So how are people meant to?
This is what I'm saying.
Buy a property? So let's say for example, let me give you a scenario then that someone comes to you. Cool. Someone's on £41,000. Single guy. He's living at home. Let's say, and he wants to buy a house in London.
Yeah. Because
he wants to buy a house so when he's planning to have kids, he's got a girlfriend at the moment and stuff like that. What would you advise that person? £41,000 trying to buy a house that's 500k. Let's say for example, what do they do? Like,
no, you can't do it. Literally, I know it sounds bad. When I'm talking to people, I'm very honest. I'm like, I always say, do you need to live in London? London is not the be all and end all. There is so much more. I think my eyes were opened when we realized that you can get a lot more house for your money outside of London. So if that is his be all and end all, that is great. You don't have to have your forever home now. You can get 2 or 3 houses before your forever home becomes an actual reality. So I would always advise people, go where your money can stretch to. Don't overstretch yourself. If you want to buy in London, but you literally can't eat, you can't furnish the place, you're laying on the floor, why? Go and get somewhere up north, or go and get somewhere that is more affordable for your salary, where you're not stretched, where you can still save, you still have the time to even do a side hustle or make more money and be comfortable. So I would have always advised, go outside of London, get somewhere, rent it out, make that money work for you. In time, you can then refinance your property with capital appreciation, and then you can come back down to South. South doesn't have to be your starting point. So
you would say, tell that person on foot, stay at home as long as you can. Probably put your money down, invest it in that, build up the cash flow, work up, and then look at going out. What area would you say for them to invest in? So I would always, for me, a lot of my great investments have been in the Yorkshire area. Okay. Yeah, so Hull, Doncaster, Sheffield, those areas have been really good for me because I got in there before the prices have gone up. And even now, they're not at their peak yet. So those areas are still really great to invest in. But if his be all and end all is to be in London, he can do it in time. The money has to stack up. It doesn't make sense if you want to do it now. You won't get a lender. You can't afford it because you need to. The bank can lend you 4.5 times your income. You can't afford. Yeah, you can't even get anything. They'll laugh at you. So and obviously you said he's single. If obviously there was another person, again, that's where community comes in. Yeah, that could be more realistic if there is another person on the application. Yeah, because I feel like. In London, if you do want to stay in London, you can't just work one job. You have to have another job, or you have to start something that's a business that's generating. That's what I'm saying. People income. Unfortunately, in this day and age, people think that just a 9 to 5 was sufficient to get a property. You need to have a 5 to 9 because that extra money is what's going to help you get to your dream. Like people want, I think, and it's difficult because on social media now, everyone shows their highlights of what they are doing. You don't know what they're doing on the back end, but you can't get that if your money doesn't align to that. You need to be able to make more money elsewhere. That's why I said in the beginning, you've got to cut your expenses or increase your income. You have to have a side hustle or something that gives you extra cash. Because 9 to 5, unless you're earning dumb money and doing investment banking, you're not going to be able to get there. Yeah, 100%. Because when I saw that stat, I was like, 41k is average salary. Because I didn't even know, because I left my job last summer, so about a year. I didn't know that was the current average salary, and based in comparison to the average house in London, that's why crazy. A lot of people are moving out now to like Kent and Essex, and they just commute into London if they're working in London because it's more affordable. Yeah. Why do you think also a lot of billionaires and millionaires are moving out the UK right now? Because I haven't got the stats on that, but I'm just hearing that a lot of people. I've got a lot of friends that are moving out. Yeah. Why do you think that is? Taxes, they rape you now. It's crazy. You're literally going to work for half the week and the money's not coming into your account. Like why? And as well, like I'm not saying UK is bad vibes. I've lived here my whole life, but. The sun makes a big difference to how you feel. When you're in Dubai and the sun is shining, you're okay to get up early in the morning to do work because you just feel happier. The standard of living, like, everything has gone up. They've now done the Blackwall and Silvertown tunnel. Everything is going, like, you can't step outside and not hear cha-ching come out your pocket. There's money just dripping everywhere. It's just expensive to live in the UK. So I get why they're moving out. If they can afford it, I would too. Yeah, and the catch-22 of this is like, so I sat down with my accountant last week, me and my business partner, and I showed him kind of the property that I'm looking to get for future, like next, I set myself a 2-year goal. Amazing. To achieve, and he said, for the property that I want to get, he said, you need to pay yourself 60k. So this is the first time, last week was the first time I ever knew what I was doing before, right? Like, so I've been running TSM. I was when I was about 19, 20. And what I was doing was just transferring money. I wasn't actually paying myself properly on the books at all or anything because no one's ever told me this. Yeah. Like, I'm starting a business, registered on Company's House, That's all I know. I'm not being told, cool, this is how you pay.
Yeah.
We've also got staff now.
Yeah.
So like even paying people, I'm knowing, cool, paying salaries, expense, I'm thinking, me and my boy just sat here
scratching
like,
your head.
Why the first thing like when I said, bro, why are we only finding this stuff out now?
Yeah.
Like, I feel like I'm at a good stage where like it's good that we're finding this out now because we're able to rather than later. That we're finding stuff out, but it's mad. Like we was never actually taught this. Okay, cool. It's how I need to make. Whereas like before, you might try to take cash here or this here off the books, but then you're not. It's making it look like you're not making any money. So even though you get taxed on it, it's like a catch-22.
100%.
Yeah. So again, going back to that, like our community this information is not accessible.
Yeah, it's not. And it's really great. A lot of people online, especially social media now, are making it more apparent and obvious about certain things like taxes, accounting, property, what you can do. Like, it's good that the information is out there, but if you're not physically sat down and taught it, you could be losing money or doing things illegally.
Yeah. 100%. And yeah, it's mad that we only found that out.
Yeah, that's good you know now.
Last week. Yeah. So now we're like, cool, this is our 2-year goal because he was even saying, the banks need to say, let me know if I'm wrong as well, banks need to see that you've been earning this for at least 2 years.
Yeah,
right?
especially if you're doing self-employed.
Yeah. So he was saying they need to say it for at least 2 years because he was like, you might have all the money there, but if you ain't got no track record there,
that's it.
If you ain't got no track record of when you can consistently make this, and it makes sense because if someone asks me to borrow $5,000 and I know that they're not good for paying back, I ain't gonna get them money. So it's like it's kind of the same principle, right?
And if you're not in a 9 to 5, you're not consistently getting paid. They need to see like you are a credible somebody.
Yeah.
Like, your books tell a story of who you are. So your accounting books have to line up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what side hustle would you say is a good side hustle in 2025? Someone's got a 9 to 5, trying to stack, because honestly, like a 9 to 5 not enough right now unless you're in a high earning job. Yeah. What would you say is like a?
You know what? Again, I'm gonna do a cop out. I don't have one answer. I want to say everyone has a skill that they can monetize.
What would you do if it was a full-time job like right now and you was back when you were stacking for that? Okay.
I've got 3 sisters. I used to do the hair when I was younger. I've got a daughter now, do her hair. I'm good at doing hair. If I had to do something right now with no money, so to answer your question in the beginning, I would do hair. Okay. Because hair, people come to your house, you don't have to travel nowhere. You do it, they pay you cash in hand, you're good. Your money's stacking up. Yeah.
Okay.
And so when I say everyone's got a side, even little things like my children, they have a tutor now. He's literally just started uni. And he's making money. He tutors my children 1 hour a week. He's got a few kids that he tutors every single week. And he's just using the knowledge that he has. It's not new knowledge you have to consume. And he's just using what he has to teach 8-year-old children. I'm not saying it's not hard, but it's a skill that you've got. If you're someone who likes dogs, you can be a dog walker. If you're someone who even likes to clean, you can be a cleaner. There's some skill or something that everyone has that they could monetize if they do it in the right way.
We was talking about this on the last episode before you, and we just started speaking about off camera, and was like, although now time is hard, we're also in the best time because people are making money like anyhow.
You know how much money people made during COVID? People didn't have to leave their house and they were still making money.
Literally.
The amount of podcasters that were birthed, the amount of things that were discovered just because people were at home, they couldn't leave, so they had to discover and find something that they could do. And people figured out they can do cyber stuff, they can do IT stuff, tech stuff. Like people learned so much about themselves by not being distracted by going out. 100%. Like if you really sit down and think about it, there's something that people always say about you, even if it's like, oh, you're so hospitable, oh, you're so nice, oh, I don't know, you can even like, I don't know, just there's something that people can do to make money if they really think about it hard. Yeah, and I think a lot of people don't do that and just think head negative, it's hard. So you're not actually thinking outside the box and actually thinking, okay, what skill set do I have here? You can set up something on social media for free to engage clients and get people in through the doors. Not people that have gone viral from like the most smallest things. Yeah. And now they're living the dream. It's just about, because when you said you had to grind it out, what sacrifices did you have to take, like personally? Because you said you done nothing when you were back home. Like, so my friends were going on a holiday, and think about it, like I had just finished uni. People are now enjoying their money, and I'm now back home with my dad. Not going out, not going out to eat, not going to parties, not doing nothing, because I had to save every little penny I had. The only money I spent was to travel to go to work and come back and eat white rice. Like that's it. I done nothing. But look and then how old was you when you
got that first door?
So this is the thing. A lot of people now, when you see on social media, they get the house at the age of 10. Like they're mad young. Everyone is a guru, entrepreneur, something like they got no facial hair, but they got 10 properties. I was considered quite old. I got my first property at 26. I had just turned 26. My birthday's in August. I got it in September. I had just turned 26. But I'm, in the grand scheme of things, if you look online now, old.
Yeah, from what you see online.
Yeah, from what you see online, I'm old. So that was my first property, but that took a lot of sacrifice. Going home, not going out, and just cutting my coat according to its size. Like, I don't need to floss for people to see me. Like, come to my house, then you know I got money. You don't. What I wear doesn't need to show you that I've got money. What you see of me don't need to show that I've got money. Just do things not for other people's gratification. Do it because you know you need to do it.
100%.
Yeah.
And that's a question I'm gonna ask. How do you? So you seem like you're doing a lot. How do you balance all this? Like, what does a day-to-day look like for you?
I'm tired.
What's the day? I can imagine. It sounds like it because you're doing all this for your kids, right? Like, what does a day?
So the day looks like me. So in the morning, get the kids ready. My son goes nursery twice a week. My twins, who are 8 years old, go to school obviously every day. So between 9 and 3, I normally take them all to school or nursery. I've got consultation calls normally in the morning from like 9 to 11. If I'm not going up to Doncaster or Hull or Sheffield to visit a property, I'm visiting one of the local ones. So I've got properties in Kent. I manage properties for people as well. So I manage properties for people in Purfleet, in East London as well. I've got clients that I need to speak to. I've got contractors and builders that I have to speak to. Even this morning, I had to have a few calls with contractors who are just letting me down. So I've had to try and find some new ones. So it's just during the day, it's just loads of meetings. If I'm not physically going out to visit one of my sites or a client's site, it's tons of meetings. And then you got to cook and clean and be a wife and that stuff as well. Try and look pretty at some point, do your hair, do your nails, all that self-care stuff as well. And then once it's free, got to get the kids again. And when they're at home, I'm still doing work. So it doesn't switch off. The weekends, evenings, I'm still working. And then you got to create content too, as you know.
Like we were just saying beforehand.
You got to do content too. So then there's that embedded into it too. So it's a lot. It's a lot. But I know the hard work is just for the short term. It will pay off. And it has been paying off.
So what would you say in the grand scheme of things? Like, what's your dream life? If you could map out like your dream life, like what would that look like?
I want to sleep.
Just sleep.
No, dream life would be...
What would your dream life?
You know what? I feel like I live my dream life now.
Love that.
I'm someone who, I don't think I can just sit down and do nothing. So although I complain, I'd rather be busy than not. And I'm busy doing this is my own business, this is my baby. If I'm not doing it, I'm not making money. And what I'm doing, I'm helping people as well. So I'm kind of living my dream life now. I just want to sleep. And only because my son is young. My son is going to be 2 in June. When he's older, I know it'll be a bit better. But I think because I've still got a kind of affair with the baby, it's still a bit difficult.
You must be so organized. Like everything must be in your diary. Like proper.
I got OCD. Yeah,
I can imagine because the amount that you're taking on, you have to be. Only organized person can do that.
You have to. Even to come here today, I had to cook everyone's lunch. Like just to get everyone sorted and ready before Mummy's leaving the house now. But don't worry, your food is there, your snacks is there. They went to tennis this morning. I took them, picked them back up. My son, it's just like there's always something to do. But if you're organized, it will get done. You cannot be in this industry, especially with property, and not be organised. My diary is always packed. It's 4 weeks booked up in advance already. So it's just the way it is. And
you have gym on top of this, so you're still saying
this is gym.
And do you know what? No, we need you to come back on as well because this is. I feel like this has been such a great, insightful pod. Cause I love talking about finances and property and things like that as well. So this has been so good, but. Yeah, the gym stuff, we got to add that in as well.
That's why I'm here.
Do you know what? Even I forgot because I was so interested in like that convo that I forgot that we got to talk about some gym stuff.
Yeah, gym stuff.
So, so how do you incorporate that on top of everything? Like, because you said you train 3 times a week.
Yeah, 3 times a week. Yeah.
How do you fit that all in?
So again, my gym time, it's 3 times a week, but it's literally an hour and 15. I have to hit it an hour and 15 and that's it. So my son goes to nursery, like I mentioned, twice a week. So once I drop him straight to the gym, so I know that you mentioned, am I AM or PM person? I'm AM. Once he goes to nursery, straight to the gym for my hour and a half, be back by 10:30 and get my meetings done. And then the extra day he's at home, I go when he naps. Literally, as soon as he's got down to nap and my husband's at home, I'm out straight to the gym. So it's timed.
Wow.
It's timed and it's certain days. If he's up, I can't go.
Do you train at home as well? Do you do that at home as well?
I need to leave the house.
Oh,
Not home, I'll just eat.
Okay.
I need to leave the house.
So what do you do when you're in the gym? Like, do you have like a set routine?
Yeah,
like,
so because I want to go 3 days, I go do 2 lower body days and 1 upper body day.
Love it. Again, routine.
Yeah.
Every day's it's got to be routines, right? Okay, because it's good that you said that because a lot of my clients, right, are mothers. Majority of my clients are mothers. They're women. So it's like, it's good that like it can be done. You just need to have everything kind of like structured down to a T.
And you know what? I started with home workouts, to be fair.
Okay.
Once I had my twins, I couldn't leave the house because there were 2 of them.
Yeah.
And it was just long. So I started with home workouts, then graduated to the gym.
And when did you start going to the gym? Like,
so, you know, before the twins were born, actually. So in my early 20s is when I started going to the gym. Again, I was going to gym just for aesthetics. I just wanted a big bum, like, and a flat tummy. Like, that's the truth of it. I just wanted nyash because I didn't have breasts, so I had to have nyash. So I went to the gym to do all of that. And then, because I wasn't as consistent, I kind of dropped on. I was never, quote unquote, big. But the truth is, I think I've definitely got body dysmorphia. In my mind, I've always thought I'm very, very big. I am the queen of sucking in my stomach. From the age of like 15, I've been sucking in my stomach because I think it's pudgy and it's big. When I look back at pictures, I'm just like, you're Margo, like you're skinny. Like, what's wrong with you? Like, why did you think you were big? But it's just, I think the mind plays tricks on you when you see other people and you're just comparing yourself. So then when I became a mum and then that belly, the overhang came and the C-section was there, I was just like, hey, this gym thing needs to be stepped up. Don't laugh at me, but it's true. It needs to be stepped up because I don't like what I'm seeing. So then I kind of started going to the gym more. And that's kind of, it's just a consistent thing. I'm now not going for aesthetics. I'm going so I can look after my kids and be strong and pick them up and not have my back hurt. So that's kind of why, that's my why now for the kids, not necessarily for me. I want to still look good, definitely. Still want Nyash, it's growing slowly, but at the same time, like I'm going to be healthy for the people that need me more.
And what your kids will see what you're doing and be like, oh, like
they copy me.
So
I'll
be like, they will definitely follow suit. And it's crazy that you said about like how you perceive yourself because literally the last guest that we had on like London, what you would have said that went out, she kind of does similar to what I do. She works with women online and helps them before the stage where they get to meet about like how people think. And I said, what's the biggest barrier that you find with women that you work with? And she literally said that like the psychological aspect.
It's mad.
Because she studied, like, she's a doctor as well. And she said that's the biggest barrier. So even though you said that as well, it's like, at least she proves what her point as well.
Is. The way you see yourself is really important and it's always the negative.
Yeah, she literally said that as well.
Yeah.
It's mad, yeah, she pointed that out. But what was your first day like in the gym? Like, how did you know what to do? Like, did you feel intimidated when you was 100%. In the gym?
I didn't go to the weight section for like a year. So I just saw bare buff guys there. I was just like, it's like I can't compete with them before they come and laugh at me. I avoided it like the plague until, and actually, let me tell a lie. So obviously had twins, felt bare big, went to the gym consistently, lost a bit of weight, done really, really good. And then we wanted to have another child. And this is probably a bit more personal for the gym, but it took a long time for me to conceive my second son. So like I mentioned before, I had my twins. 3 months after getting married, conceived, like didn't think about it, didn't plan it, got pregnant straight away. And then I thought, oh, this is easy to have a baby, like it's not a big deal. So then when the twins were 3, I thought, oh, let's have another kid. I was like, this is taking a long time. What the hell is going on to conceive? Like, this is, like, what is wrong with me? I'm not old, I don't know what's wrong with my body. And then me and my husband both got a PT. No word of a lie. Got the PT 3 months after having in the PT. My husband lost 10 kg. I lost 5 kg in such a, not quick, but it was a manageable space of time. He was an amazing PT. His name is Vita. Speak up him if he actually watches this. And we were the most healthiest we have ever been conceived. That the way your body reacts to you, you might think you're not big, but inside of you isn't healthy. So we went hard at the gym, sorted out our eating, lost bare weight, but the healthiest we've ever been. We're in better spirits, and that's when we managed to conceive and then have our second son, third child. And I honestly think there's a strong correlation between you being healthy. Obviously, there is a correlation between you being healthy and you conceiving, but it was just mad that we tried for 2.5 years, nothing. Decided to get a PT. 3 months later, we're now pregnant. Yeah. Like, fitness, like what you're doing is so important. You don't realize psychological things and the things that people are praying for and wanting that happens because they decided to make a stand about their fitness. Sorry. Fitness is so important, and I think it shouldn't just be for aesthetic. It should be a lifestyle 100%. That your children see, that you like. I don't always like going to the gym, but I know 3 times a week I've got to hit it because that is my aim.
And that's a more important why than thinking about I've got to do this weight in this amount of time, I've got to do that. If it's like waking up, brushing your teeth, you know you got to go 3 times a week.
It's just something you have to do.
It's like you have to tick it off.
Yeah.
Like everyone goes to work, then they have the lunch break at this time.
Yeah.
You also know you've got to do that like every week. Okay, amazing. Where do you kind of see yourself in like 5-10 years time? Like overall, like that can be like fitness, can be like work. It's a question I always like to ask.
I want to help a lot more people. I think what I've realized now is sometimes it's the content that you do and the stuff that you do, it's not necessarily about you.
Yeah.
I'm really big on giving to other people. I mentioned the people pleasing thing, but it's not even about that. It's about, I know there's stuff that I can bless people with. So that is my aim. And in terms of the property stuff, I want to get more into the commercial property side and bigger projects. I don't want one property. I want to be doing 10 at a time.
How much work is the flats you're trying to convert into 3 flats?
Yeah.
How much work is that
I've been fighting builders back left,
I
right,
can
and
imagine.
center. Like they don't. It's just a lot of work, but it's interesting. I'm learning new things. I'm learning about the QS side of it. I'm also project management qualified, so I'm putting that into practice when it comes to the construction work that needs to be done, and I'm doing it for clients too. So it's just a full circle.
When did you do the project? Did you Prince do?
No. So it's construction project management. Bricks.
Okay, yeah.
So I done that when I was actually on my maternity leave with my son. Then I just didn't go back to work.
Yeah. So you was like, and then how many properties did you have until you left your job and you was like?
So I left my job. My son is almost 2, so about 2 years ago now, and we're on 12 properties now. So at that time, I think we were on 10.
And how many do you want to get to? Like, what's that?
There's no limit.
What's number? Just sky limit, innit? Yeah, that's literally.
On the whole road.
Literally.
Yeah.
Because you could always, like, I spoke to my barber about this morning, so I was like, you can never be too busy because you could just grow your team.
Yeah,
grow your team. Like, if the number keeps growing, just keep growing your team.
And the funny thing is, the amount of work it takes to, say, buy a property that has 5 flats in it, it's the same amount of work it takes to buy one property that has 1 room in it.
Yeah.
It's just, it's your mindset. Like, if you think it's too hard, it's going to be too hard.
Yeah. Let's go back to actually help, like how you help people. So let's say, for example, who booking the call, and we'll leave everything in the description box below. What does that actually look like being like mentored by you? Like if somebody's interested that's watching now, like what does that actually
depends
look like?
on your objective. What are you looking for? So I've got one mentee that I speak to every 2 weeks for an update on where she is on her project. I had another one that I was teaching about how to actually do property management. So she came to me and said, I've got I think like £5,000. I wanted to get into a certain property strategy. It wasn't enough money what she wanted to do. She would have been absolutely burnt out, way overstretched. So I gave her loads of options. I advised her what I think she should do to be able to increase her cash flow, to be able to have the money to do what she wants to do. And property management was one of them. So again, give me your objective and I will tell you what I believe you should do. And then we'll run with it.
So it's good because it's very like, it's not narrowing them up.
It's
very,
it's broad.
It's broad.
Property is so big. You can be a first time buyer, you can be an investor, you can be someone who wants to do rent to rent, you can be someone that only wants to do BRR. So I can't give you a blanket.
Yeah.
Come and tell me what you want and I'll tell you how I can help you.
What do you say is your most like, not common, what's your most like, what do you help with the most, would you say?
Right now, deal sourcing.
Okay,
so I've got a client who wants, they've seen on, again, that's why social media is so great. It showcases what you do so people know that they can do the same thing. I've shown a lot on my social media that I do BRR, buy an undervalued property. So I've got clients that have come to me and said, I've seen what you've done. Can you source me a BRR deal like you have done and be able to get my money back out of it? And I'm so confident in what I do that part of your payment is only paid if I do what I say on the tin. If you get your money out after the refinancing, then pay me my money. If you don't, cool.
Okay.
Because I'm so confident that I can get you a property that you can refinance, buy undervalued, and get all your money back out of it.
Well, you know you're good at something, you can have a guarantee because I have that as well.
Yeah, it's the value you add.
Yeah. And you've got a guarantee because you're so confident that you're getting results. It's like, if you have a guarantee, they're like, okay, like, she's so confident. Yeah, literally.
Yeah.
Literally. Okay.
But yeah, deal sourcing right now is my biggest baby.
For people that I know what deal sourcing, for people that don't know deal
Sure.
sourcing,
So deal sourcing is so you don't have the time to be able to research and whatever. I will do that for you. I'll save you time, save you money. You don't have to travel to X, Y, and Z. I'll travel and do it for you. And I'll get you whatever your objective is. If you want a PRR deal, if you want a property to live in, if you want a property to do buy to let, I will get you that property. So basically, like similar to an estate agent without all the faff.
Okay, nice.
Yeah.
So for someone that doesn't, like for myself, I work for myself. What would you advise people? I know again it's pretty broad, but if somebody's working for themselves, what would you mainly advise them if they haven't got like a set in stone, like this how much they're making a month? How would you advise them to get into like buying property, and is it harder to get property because you haven't got the same amount coming every month?
Lenders are a bit more stricter to lend to you if you don't have like your 9 to 5, your PAYE. So I would first of all say get a good accountant. I can recommend them, but get a good accountant. Similar to what you've done, to tell you this is how much money you need to be making per month, and this is what it needs to look like on your books. So when you do go to buy the property, then the lenders won't have any issues with you.
Yeah.
Like you just get the right expertise. I don't know everything. I'm happy to always say, speak to my broker, speak to that person, because I don't know it all, but I know someone who does know it all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good. Okay, we definitely need to get you back on, because I want to speak about a lot more. But is there anything else you want to add on as we wrap up? Is there anything that you want to wrap on that we haven't touched on? But this is very educational. This is very educational for like everyone.
What I want to say is I think people just need to reduce the boundaries. If there's a thought in your head that you think you want to do, go for it. Like I don't want people to have limits on what they think they can and can't do. If you're unsure of things, seek out mentors, seek out knowledge, ask questions, but don't ever limit yourself on what you think you can or can't do. Try it and you'll be surprised.
Yeah. And what piece of advice would you give your 16-year-old self? It's a question I always ask as well on the pod. Right now, if you're sitting right opposite you right now, I'm seated, what piece of advice? That could be anything, like any piece of advice would you give?
I would say your past doesn't define you. You've got so much more ahead of you that you will be so surprised to see.
After that.
Yeah.
That's a good piece. Cool. So, you know how to find you. Again, let them know one more time.
Propertybyjewels is where you'll find me.
Thank you so much for coming on.
That's
episode 13. Thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you guys on the next one. Sorry guys, I forgot to mention this during the pod, so you got to like the first time you hear this. I say everyone that comes on the pod gets a bottle. Guess what? So for you, so these are on our website. All right, so there's a discount for everyone that comes on and uses our discount code POD15. You get 15% off. You're going for the blue and pink one, but that's for you for a little present for coming on. No worries. Had to add that in. Couldn't forget that.